The glass shattered louder than it should have. Not because it hit the floor hard, but because in that quiet, polished restaurant, every single person heard it. Heads turned, conversations paused, and in the middle of it all, she stood frozen, her trembling hand still half raised in the air, as if time itself had forgotten to move forward. The man across from her didn't even try to hide his disgust. His chair scraped back with a sharp, deliberate sound. His lips tightened. His eyes, cold, dismissive, ran over her one last time, like she was something he had accidentally ordered and now wanted to return. And then he walked away. Just like that, leaving her there, alone, in front of strangers who pretended not to stare. If you believe every story hides a lesson, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Stories. You never know which story might stay with you long after it ends. She didn't cry immediately. That would have been easier. Instead, she stood there, breathing too fast, her chest tight, her fingers curling into her apron as if she could hold herself together by gripping fabric. Her name tag was slightly crooked now. She noticed that. Of all things, she noticed that. It still read her name, simple and small, like it didn't belong in a place like this. She had come here early, before her shift. She had borrowed a dress, not new, just carefully pressed. She had tied her hair back twice before deciding to leave a few strands loose, because she thought maybe it made her look softer. More acceptable. He had been late. He had been distant. And then, after 10 minutes of forced smiles and short answers, he had leaned back, sighed, and said something she would replay in her mind for a long time, not the exact words, but the feeling behind them. Disappointment, embarrassment, as if she had tricked him just by showing up as herself. When the glass slipped from her hand, it wasn't clumsiness. It was her body finally giving in to everything she had been holding back. The restaurant manager had already started walking toward her, his expression tight, rehearsed. The kind of look that said mistakes were not tolerated here, especially not from someone like her. But then someone else moved first. A man, seated just a few tables away, stood up. He hadn't been paying attention before. Or maybe he had, quietly, the way some people do. He walked over, not quickly, not dramatically, just with a calm certainty that seemed to soften the air around him. He didn't look at the broken glass. He didn't look at the people watching. He looked at her, and for the first time since the chair scraped and the footsteps faded, she felt seen. He gently placed a hand on the back of the empty chair across from her, as if grounding the moment, and his voice, low, steady, cut through the noise of her racing thoughts. "I'm sorry he hurt you." That was all. No grand speech, no pity in his tone. Just a quiet acknowledgement of something real. And somehow, that was what broke her. Not the rejection, not the humiliation, but the simple fact that someone had noticed. Her eyes filled before she could stop them. She turned her face slightly, trying to hide it, but her shoulders gave her away. They trembled, not violently, but enough to show the cracks beneath the surface she had worked so hard to keep intact. The manager slowed his steps. The room shifted, just slightly, as if unsure how to respond to something that wasn't loud, wasn't dramatic, but deeply human. The man didn't rush her. He didn't offer tissues or empty reassurances. He just stayed. There was something about him, something unspoken, that made the space feel less suffocating. His presence didn't erase what had happened, but it made it survivable. She sat down slowly, her knees weaker than she expected. The chair felt colder now. Or maybe she was just more aware of everything. Her thoughts spiraled. Maybe she had aimed too high. Maybe she had misunderstood what this evening was supposed to be. Maybe people like her weren't meant for moments like this. But then she remembered the way he had looked at her. Not like a mistake, not like a disappointment, but like a person whose pain mattered. And that thought lingered. The man pulled out the chair across from her, but he didn't sit immediately. He gave her the choice without saying it out loud. When she didn't object, he lowered himself into it, slow and deliberate, like he wasn't there to take anything, but simply to share the moment. Around them, the restaurant returned to its rhythm. Conversations resumed. Glasses clinked. Laughter, softer now, filled the spaces that had been tense just minutes before. But for her, everything had changed. She wiped her tears, embarrassed, but less alone. Her breathing steadied. Her grip on the edge of the table loosened. He still hadn't asked her anything. Hadn't demanded her story. Hadn't tried to fix what couldn't be fixed. And that, somehow, felt like the kindest thing of all. Sometimes, It isn't the people who walk away that define us. It's the ones who stay, quietly, when they have no reason to. If this story has touched something inside you, don't scroll away just yet, take a moment to like, share, and tell us how it made you feel. Your voice might mean more than you realize. And before this story ends, write one word in the comments that describes what you felt in this moment. Because somewhere, someone else might be feeling the same thing, and they might need to know they're not alone. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know why he cared. But as she sat there, in a place that had moments ago felt too bright, too sharp, too unforgiving, she realized something quiet, something fragile, something real. Not every broken moment stays broken. Sometimes, someone steps in, and everything begins to shift.